Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we could discuss An Honest Liar. So, this is a documentary about James Randi, also known as the Amazing Randi, pretty much world famous escape artist, magician. And he was excellent at all these different illusions and tricks, but what he was really known for was exposing the truth behind other people who were doing like illusions and tricks. But he wasn't trying to expose like magicians for their magic tricks. He was trying to expose people who were out grifting people for money, promising faith healing or psychic predictions or the ability to talk to a deceased loved one. So he would go and target like these grifters who were up to no good and lying to people and manipulating people to separate them from their money. And so in this documentary, we're given like an overview of the Amazing Randy's, how he grew up and how he got involved in magic. Get to see a ton of footage of him on like different vintage TV shows, doing appearances and tricks. And I thought that was really cool. But then you also find out about his personal life and you meet his partner Carlos. They talk about how they met, which is a really wild story, and how kind of the adventures they've gotten into were really interesting to hear about as well. There's a romance angle here. There's a little bit of like who's telling the truth and who isn't, or like, it's this documentary about this guy who made a living out of exposing other people's deceptions, and yet it's like that he acknowledges that there is such a thing as an honest liar, where you're not lying to obscure the truth, you're lying to reveal the truth. As weird as that sounds. So this documentary was just super interesting, and it shows that even with somebody like James Randi, who's always pointing out deceptions, that there, even within his life, there could be deceptions and within his stories. I thought this was really interesting. It was so well edited. James Randi's just such a colorful guy, and he's got so many stories and so many wild situations. Like, he went on The Price is Right back in the day, and there was some guy who was pretending like he could, just use his hands to turn phone book pages and stuff like that. And they brought James Randi out at the same time, and he just sprinkled some paper around it, and he said all he's doing is blowing the pages. So now he can't do it, so have him replicate it. And of course, the guy couldn't do it. It was such an amazing moment. There's tons of vintage TV footage here, which I think a lot of people will appreciate. But anyway, it's a really good documentary. Great story. Always entertaining, always interesting. Tons of memorable moments here. How often do you hear somebody say, oops, I misplaced my vertebrae? Not very often. But I love this documentary. I thought it was just so powerful and so interesting and so memorable. That's my review of An Honest Liar. If you want to check out more, go to my website, markfusion.com, or right here on YouTube to my movie review playlist. But until then, thank you so much for watching this. I do greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.